Well, Northern Iowa has already clinched the regular season conference title. They're on a 16-game winning streak, and Coach Ryan Jacobs joins us today. And Coach, it just seems like your team has picked up where it left off a year ago, got the invite to the NCAA tournament. And do you think that experience has really carried over and helped this team this season with their success?
I definitely think anytime you can experience something like that, it's always in your mind, and obviously you want to get back there, but a lot of times we forget about what it took to get there. And this team kind of has gone through those growing pains just like any other team, where I would say back in January there was a couple of days there that I reminded them, it's the outside people that are telling you how good you are right now, but I'm on the inside and I'm telling you, you are not a championship caliber team right now. And I've seen all the championship teams in the Valley. I've seen what they look like, and we're not there yet. So there was a lot of work that still needed to be put in with this group.
So a little tough love from the head coach seemed to pay off, as your team is. I mean, they're hitting for power. My goodness, 61 home runs, which is a program record. I think lead the Valley and batting average. So you're hitting for power and for average. There's so many things nowadays that hitters can use and to help train, and any kind of technology, virtual reality, analytics. Is there something that you and your team subscribe to, utilize to help, that has brought on this power surge?
Yeah, we've tried it all. Everything you just mentioned, we've tried it. And I think that's part of it is we talk about living on the edge. Like if you're sitting in comfort zone and you're not getting challenged and you're not pushing yourself to try new things, even if you don't adapt it or you don't use it, but you've at least tried it. You never know when you might be in a situation in a game where you're like, oh, I remember how that felt. That's what I need right now, and you can go try it. And so whether it's tech or whether it's just another, movement type, or we call it our swing move. If you've tried a bunch of different ones, you never know when you might need it. And that's just being an athlete then. And that's what we're trying to train them to be, is be an athlete, be adjustable, be adaptable. And that's something that I've had to learn as well. Not to just, there's not just one way to do it. Let them be free and let them play.
Yeah, come along with the times. I know that's kind of the new up and coming thing. And I think maybe a good example of analytics, Cam Shaeffer hit for power a year ago. Maybe the power numbers aren't there this year, but you still have her in the cleanup spot. Is that an analytics type of decision?
Absolutely. She's, I've said it before to a number of people, the computer loves her in the 4-hole for some reason because of what she does for the team. She's going to take her walks. She's going to get people on base in front of other hitters. Obviously, the computer doesn't know it, but we know the reputation part of it. Anytime you've had a successful season the year before, we know as coaches, when we face those players, it goes through your mind. And so you have to respect that. And so that helps. But she's done an unbelievable job with runners in scoring position. Although the numbers aren't there, she's still doing what we call team at bats and family at bats. And everybody on the team knows that when she's in those spots, that's who we want in there, because we know that we're going to get everything she has.
So you last year had Sammy Bunch, great all-around player. Everybody knows her in the Valley, took advantage of that 5th year. And you have a player that there's a lot of people that are saying maybe have the potential of a Sammy Bunch, maybe a higher ceiling than Sammy Bunch. Talk a little bit about Kylie Sanders.
Kylie is, she is so athletic, super adaptable. It's not always textbook the way she does it, but and as a hitter, she's really come on strong this year. But I would say from an infield standpoint is where I've seen the most growth from Kylie. We knew coming in that, we weren't going to have a Sammy Bunch offensive player come in and plug the hole at shortstop. And we knew we weren't going to have somebody defensively that was going to be the same as her. But that's where, she's really come a long way. I remember a certain time in the fall, I'm like, Kylie, you're going to get tired of hearing from me. Like, I'm going to be on you all the time. I'm going to remind you. I'm going to say the same thing maybe 50 times in the same practice to remind you to do something. And she looked me right in the eye and said, Coach, that's why I came here. I came here so you could coach me. And so right then I knew, all right, we're going to be good. We're going to be okay as long as she can continue to handle that. I know at some point it'll click for her. And, we challenged her, we threw her into the fire. She made mistakes. I think the biggest thing that she had to learn was the speed of the game. I couldn't tell her how fast it was going to be. She needed to experience it. She got humbled a few times. She had a couple times where she did the glove pat one too many times, and the runner was at first before she knew it. And that didn't happen to her in high school, but she's totally adapted. Even in the last week, I've seen growth in her as a shortstop, and her and Taylor Hogan has done a great job mentoring her in the middle infield. I know she knows what it feels like to have Sammy Bunch over there teaching her the ropes, talking, who's covering the bag, communication throughout the game. And she's now taken that role with Kylie and really helped Kylie progress as a player defensively.
It's nice to be strong up the middle, and you do have somebody great at second and somebody great at shortstop, but you also have a pretty good pitching staff. I'll tell you what, Katelyn Packard has really done a great job. Where have you seen the most growth from her this season?
I think you could see it right away in the fall that, she's a definite team player, a great teammate. All the excitement, all the outside enthusiasm you see from her, it is not about her. It is all about excitement for the team. And so I think she put a lot of pressure on herself coming in this fall. I think she thought, how am I going to do this again? That wasn't something that any of us expected. It was just a product of hard work and determination and wanting to prove herself. So it was a different challenge this year because now there was a level of expectation. And it wasn't from the inside the program. It was definitely outside forces and then herself feeling that coming at her. So she had some challenges early and she wasn't sharp early. And I think there was a little bit of a time where she might have been thinking about the panic button, but really just honed in and really continued to work hard with Monica. Monica does a tremendous job with all of our pitchers, but with her especially, they just click on a different level. And Monica can read when she's kind of in that mode of like trying to take on too much, try too hard. And we know it's a good intentions, try too hard. But she can try too hard and then her stuff just isn't the same. So we got to keep her on just be a competitor. Don't try to do too much. And that's when she's really good. And so Monica balances that with her very well.
Yeah, I had the chance to see her firsthand last week, and she's pretty special, that's for sure, and a nice one to have in the circle. So I mentioned that you had already clinched the regular season title. We have 1 week to go, regular season play before heading into the conference tournament. Any different approach? You guys are on a run, 16 games in a row, and any different approach you take this weekend, knowing you've already clinched heading into this last weekend?
Absolutely not. No way. That's kind of been, I guess that's our philosophy is just, do your work every day, show up and focus on the process and not the results. And obviously if we would be focusing on results right now, we'd be kicked back in the recliner and saying we did our work. And we always talk about finishing through the line, and whether it's in a workout or sprint or running through first base, that we're going to sprint through the line and we're going to finish. We're going to finish strong.
Well, I think it's certainly going to be a fun tournament, great competition all season long, and looking forward to seeing you guys down there again. Enjoyed seeing you play last week, and so thanks for sitting in and joining us today, and we will see you in Springfield.
Absolutely. You've had some really good interviews. I've enjoyed watching them. At one point, I thought maybe you forgot about me, but we're here today, and I appreciate you taking the time to help to talk to me.